students, welcome to video classes. So today we are going to discuss about the expansion of gases. In the previous classes we have completed the expansion of the solids and the expansion of the liquids also. Okay, at the time of introduction I had already told you that the thermal properties of matter is a big chapter. There is a lot of subtopics are there. Out of them, the three subtopics we have completed. First one, temperature we have completed. After that we have completed the expansion of the solids, and next we have completed the expansion of the liquids. And today we are going to start the expansion of the gases. So before that, I just want to recall the expansion of the solids and the expansion of the gases. So at the time of introduction classes, we have discussed that the substances are classified into three types based on the arrangement of the molecules. Okay, solids, liquids, and the gases. Okay, the solids will have the particular shape and the particular value. That's why in the case of solids, what happened? The three types of the expansions are. Before that, we are also discussed that when you are going to give the heat energy to these three types of the substances, then what happens? The solids will expand very less, the liquids will expand more, and the gases will expand very maximum. Okay, when I go to refer to the coefficient of expansions, in the case of solids, there are the three types of coefficient of expansions are there. What is the reason? The reason is the solids will have particular shape and the particular value. That's why the solids will have the three types of coefficient of expansions. One is called alpha, the coefficient of linear expansion. One is called alpha, the coefficient of linear expansion. And the second one is beta, coefficient of areal expansion. And the third one is gamma. Okay, these are the three types of the coefficients are there in the case of the solids. Okay, change in length, change in area, the change in value. So if you want to find out what is the relation between them, then the relation between them is alpha is to beta is to gamma is equals to 1 is to 2 is to 3. This is the relation between alpha, beta, gamma in the case of solids. Next one is the liquids. In the case of liquids, if you are giving the heat energy, the expansion will be greater than the solids. And the liquids does not have particular shape. Okay, the liquids does not have particular shape. Okay, whichever the container they are taking, that container shape they are going to be taking. So that's why what happened, the liquids does not have the linear expansion and the areal expansion. But the liquids will have particular value. That's why the volume coefficient will be there. And that volume coefficient again classified into two types. The reason is the liquids will not be heated directly. We are going to take a container. When the expansion of the container is going to be considered, based on that concept, the volume coefficient is divided or classified into two types. Okay, apparent expansion and the real expansion. The real expansion can be represented by gamma R and the apparent expansion represented by gamma A. Okay, coefficient of real expansion, coefficient of apparent expansion. And remember that the coefficient of apparent expansion depends on the expansion of the container, but the coefficient of real expansion does not depend on the container. If I find out the relation between them, gamma R is equals to gamma A plus gamma G. This is the relation between the real expansion and the apparent expansion in the case of liquids. Okay, the expansion of the liquids is greater than the solids will be there. Okay, this is the topics we have discussed. And today we are going to discuss about the gases. And when you are going to refer to the gases will not have particular shape and the particular value. Okay, if I am going to take a small amount of gas and you are going to fill in a small container, it will occupy that container. If the same amount of gas you are going to take into a big container and you are going to fill in it, again what happened? That gas again it is going to be occupy the big container also. So that means what happens here, for the gas there is no particular volume is there is no particular shape is there. Okay, so that's why in the case of gases what happens, we are going to think about the two types of the coefficients will be there. One is the volume coefficient and the second one is the pressure coefficient. Because in the case of gases, the effect of pressure is very maximum when we are going to compare with the solids and the liquids. Okay, the effect of pressure is very less on the solids and the liquids. For example, if I am going to take a solid pen, I am going to apply the pressure. Okay, if I am going to apply the pressure, is the volume is changing? No, the volume does not changes because it is a rigid body. So that's why what happened in the solids, the effect of pressure is very less, almost it will be negligible. The same thing will be happens in the case of liquid also. Okay, if I am going to take a liquid in a container and you can press it, the volume does not changes. Okay, the volume does not changes. So what happens? The effect of pressure on the liquid is also very less. So that's why we are not going to discuss about the pressure coefficient in the case of solids and in the case of liquids. Only we are going to discuss about this pressure coefficient only in the case of gases. The reason is the gases are more affected by the pressure. Okay, if I are going to increase the pressure, then what about the value? According to Boyle's law, pressure is inversely proportional to value at constant temperature. Okay, I hope all of you remember the Boyle's law. Okay. According to Boyle's law, what it explains, at constant temperature, the pressure is inversely proportional to volume. What does that mean? If I want to apply the pressure, volume is going to decreases, compresses. Okay. If the pressure decreases, then again what happened? Volume is going to increases. The best example is balloon. If I want to take a balloon, blow it, after that you can try to press it, then what happens? The balloon will compresses. Okay. So that's why that the two cases will be there. So this is the reason why the gases will have the two types of coefficients. Okay, the examination competitive part also they will ask you that why the solids and liquids does not have the pressure coefficient. Then what is your answer is? The reason is the solids and the liquids does not affected more by the pressure, but the gases will be affected more by the pressure. So that's why the gases will have the two types of coefficients, volume coefficient and the pressure coefficient. And the most important thing is that when you are going to discuss about the volume coefficient, you have to keep the pressure as a constant. Okay, whenever you are going to discuss about the volume coefficient, you have to keep the pressure as a constant. And whenever you are going to think about the pressure coefficient, you have to keep the volume as a constant. And you have to do the calculations part. Okay, so this is a very important part you have to remember. Let us discuss what are the formulas and how can we define them, volume coefficient, and what are the relations between them. That is a very important thing we are going to discuss here. Okay, so first we are going to discuss about the volume coefficient. So don't be confused here, the symbols are again same like that. In the solids we are going to use alpha and beta. So while you are reading the problem, you should be very careful that whether what is saying or which type of material is saying the solids or the liquids. Based on that you have to write down the formulas itself. Okay. In the case of gases also, the volume coefficient can be represented by alpha. Okay, the volume coefficient can be represented by alpha. So alpha is equals to, the formula is volume coefficient. Volume coefficient means it can be written as Vt minus V naught by V naught into T. This is the formula to find out the volume coefficient. Okay, the volume coefficient alpha is equals to Vt minus V naught by V naught into delta T. So what are the terms represents here? V naught represents volume of the gas at the 0 degree Celsius. The terms are very important. V naught represents volume of the gas at the 0 degree centigrade. And Vt represents volume of the gas at the temperature of T degree Celsius. And T represents temperature. Here the temperature difference means whatever, right? T minus 0. T minus 0 means directly what you are going to get, you are going to get T only. That's why directly we are written T here. Okay. So alpha is equals to Vt minus V naught by V naught into T. Now, can you tell me what will be the units? Earlier I already told you many times, whatever the substance it is, the coefficients will have the same units, that is per degree Celsius. So the units are per degree Celsius. Okay, per degree Celsius. Okay, this is the formula. Now it's the time for the definition. So we are going to refer to the definition. How can I define it? I already told you that if you want to define it, make the temperature change will be equals to 1 unit. That means how much temperature we are increasing? 1 degree Celsius we are increasing. If you are increasing 1 degree Celsius, what is Vt minus V naught represents? The change in value. Vt minus V naught represents change in value, and V naught represents volume of the gas at what temperature? 0 degree Celsius. Now how can I define it? The ratio of, okay, the ratio of change in value to its initial value at 0 degree centigrade per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature is called the coefficient of volume expansion. Okay, alpha is equals to Vt minus V naught by V naught into T. Okay, this is the volume coefficient. Refer to the definition once again. The ratio of, okay, the ratio of the change in volume of the gas to the volume of the gas at 0 degree centigrade per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature is called the volume coefficient of the gas. Okay, but here what happened? The temperatures you are going to take in as 0 degree Celsius and the T degree Celsius. But every time it is not possible. Every time you are not going to be start heating the gas from the 0 degree Celsius. Sometimes what happens, you are going to take the temperature T1 and T2. So when you are going to take the temperatures as T1 and T2, then the formula is going to be changes. Only in the case of gases, this type of formulas are there. You must remember. Okay. Based on that, first we can simplify this equation. If I want to simplify this equation, Vt minus V naught is equals to, what you can write, alpha into V naught into T. So it can be written as Vt minus V naught is equals to, it becomes alpha into V naught into T. And V naught is going to right side, it will becomes plus. So that implies Vt is equals to V naught plus alpha into V naught into T. What will be taken as common? V naught will be taken as common. Then Vt is equals to, it will becomes V naught will be taken as common. What will be remains here? 1 plus alpha into T. This is the formula to find out the volume of the gas at the temperature of T degrees Celsius, which the formula is very, very important. Okay, which the formula is very, very important one. This formula represents the volume of the gas at the T degrees Celsius. Vt is equals to V naught into 1 plus alpha into T. It is nothing but the final volume of the gas formula. Okay, so alpha volume coefficient. Okay, the volume coefficient of the gas. Okay, don't be confused about the solids and the liquids here. Okay, this is the formula when the temperature is given as 0 degrees Celsius and the T degrees Celsius. In case if the temperatures are given as V1 and V2, let us consider that V1 is the volume of the gas at the temperature of T1 degrees Celsius, and V2 is the volume of the gas or the final value at the temperature of T2 degrees Celsius. At T2 degrees Celsius. Then, if you want to write down the volume coefficient of the gas, the volume coefficient of the gas alpha is equals to V2 minus V1 by V1 T2 minus V2 T1. This is the formula to find out the volume coefficient if the temperatures are given as T1 and T2 degrees Celsius. Alpha is equals to V2 minus V1 by V1 T2 minus V2 T1, and the units are per degrees Celsius. Okay, the units are per degree Celsius. So this is the formulas you need to remember. Okay, most probably we are going to use this formula. Most of the derivations, whatever the derivation part you are taking or any standard formulas you are deriving, you are going to take the first condition only. Alpha is equals to Vt minus V naught by V naught into T. In case if the problems you are solving and the temperatures are not given 0 and T degrees Celsius, if the temperatures are given T1 and T2 degrees Celsius, then you can use this formula. Alpha is equals to V2 minus V1 by V1 T2 minus V2 T. Okay, this is in the case of the volume coefficient we have discussed. And next we are going to discuss about the pressure coefficient. Once you are going to be familiar with the volume coefficient, then it will be very easy to define for the pressure coefficient also, because the same type of constants will be there. What is the changes? The symbol will be changes. At the place of volume, what you can write the pressure. Okay, so here the pressure coefficient can be represented by beta. Okay, the pressure coefficient can be represented by beta. When one refer to the beta is the pressure coefficient, and could you tell me what is the formula will be? So this time the formula will be beta is equals to only what is going to changes at the place of volume you have written the pressure. So what you can write, beta is equals to, you can write as Pt minus P naught by P naught into T. This is the formula to find out the pressure coefficient. The pressure coefficient beta is equals to Pt minus P naught by P naught into T. Okay, beta is equals to Pt minus P naught by P naught into T, and the units are per degree Celsius. The units are per degree Celsius. So this is the beta value. Now it's the time for the definition. We are going to define it same as like in the volume expansion, the same type we have to define it. So beta is equals Pt minus P naught by P naught into T. If the T is equals to 1 degree Celsius, okay, you are increasing the temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Then Pt minus P naught, change in pressure, P naught, pressure at water pressure 0 degrees Celsius. Then how can you define it? The ratio of, okay, the ratio of change in pressure to its pressure at 0 degrees Celsius per 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature is called the pressure coefficient of expansion. The pressure coefficient of expansion beta, and the units are per degree Celsius. Okay, this is the definition. Now, what is P naught represents? Pressure at 0 degrees Celsius. Pt represents pressure at T degrees Celsius. From that you want to write down the final pressure formula. Same as like that you can derive it. You can tell me directly what is the final pressure formula. Final pressure Pt is equals to P naught into what you are going to take 1 plus beta into T. Okay, 1 plus beta into T. This is the final pressure formula. Pt is equals to P naught into 1 plus beta into T. And this formula is also very important to solve the problems itself. After that, we are going to discuss about the pressure formula, the pressure coefficient formula when the temperatures are given as T1 and T2 degrees Celsius. This is the formula when the pressure and the pressures are given at 0 degrees Celsius and T degrees Celsius. Let us say that if the pressure P1 is the pressure at the temperature of T1 degrees Celsius and P2 is the pressure at the temperature of T2 degrees Celsius. P2 is the pressure at the temperature of T2 degrees Celsius. P1 is the pressure at the T1 degrees Celsius. Then what happened to the pressure coefficient formula? The pressure coefficient beta is equals to what you can write, P2 minus P1 by P1 T2 minus P2 T1. This is the formula to find out the pressure coefficient, and again the units are same per degree Celsius. Okay, beta is equals to P2 minus P1 by P1 T2 minus P2 T1. Okay, so in this way we can find out the pressure coefficient in the case of gases. And what is the important term here? When you are going to measure the pressure coefficient, what are going to keep constant? The volume should be kept at constant. And whenever you are going to be finding the volume coefficient, what are going to keep constant? The pressure should be kept at constant. And then you can calculate the volume coefficient. Okay. So these are the two types of coefficients are there in the case of gases, which are very, very important. Okay. Volume coefficient alpha, pressure coefficient beta. And don't be confused about the symbols, because the same symbols we are going to use in the solids also. That's why while you are going to attempt the question or the problem, read the problem very carefully whether he is saying the solids or he is saying the gases. If saying the gases, take the gas formulas. If saying the solids, you can take the solid formulas. Okay. So this is the two types are there. Now we have to find out the relation between them. The relation between them is, in the case of gases, the volume coefficient and the pressure coefficient both are same or both are equal. That means alpha is equals to beta. Okay, in the case of gases, alpha is equals to beta. That means the volume coefficient is equals to the pressure coefficient. There is no difference, is there? Both are same, and both are must be equals to 1 by T. Alpha is equals to beta is equals to 1 by T. Here what is T represents? The absolute temperature. Okay, T represents here absolute temperature. And in the case of absolute temperature, we can take 273.15. The exact value is 273.15. That means in another form it can be written as alpha is equals to beta is equals to 1 by 273.15 also you can write. So there is a derivation is there about alpha is equals to beta, or the relation between alpha beta, or we have to show that alpha is equals to 1 by T. That derivation is very important for the 3 marks question. In the next class we are going to discuss about the derivation part. Right up to now you can remember that the relation between alpha and beta is nothing but both are equal. Alpha is equals to beta, and both are must be equals to 1 by T. And what is T represents here? Absolute temperature. And what is the T value will be 273.15. Actually you can take 273, but if you want to write down the exact value, then you can take 273.15 you have to take. Okay. So this is the gases and the formulas. These formulas you need to remember, which are very important to solve the problems. 0 degree, T degree centigrades are given, use this formula. T1 and T2 degree centigrades is given, you can use this formula. Okay. So what is the gas? Why the gases will have the pressure coefficient also? The reason is the effect of pressure on the gases is very maximum. You must remember this concept. Okay. So that's all for today. See you in the next class with the next concept. Okay, thank you.